All right, what's going on, everybody? What's going on, Stock Dads? Welcome to another episode of Stocks and Sandals. I'm your host, Fuzz, joined with me with Paper Prophet. What's going on, brother?
What is going on, man?
Man,
Happy
it's
to be
just
here.
it's just the two of us this week. I mean, he done left us and got married, and now he's
I know,
having
Penny, man. He made the big jump. I saw
some.
that he streamed it live too. Actually, did you listen to that?
I did not. I was out and about while the stream was going on. Was it
Yeah,
good?
man. Yeah, no, it was cool. I actually, I mean, just to have a live stream for your vows, that's kind of cool. I think it was just mostly audio, but dude, you could see
Yeah.
everybody watching it and everything. Kind of cool
I think that kind of
for sure.
picked up during COVID when you couldn't have many guests involved in the wedding. So I guess that trend is still going. I reckon. I know when I got married, we didn't really have that, or we didn't really think about doing that. So
Yeah.
yeah, I guess that's interesting.
Well,
But yeah,
Penny, man, he's got fans all over the place, so
that's
he
true.
wanted to
Yeah,
put it out there. It's
why
pretty
not?
cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. So congrats to Penny if you're listening in or tuning in to us on
He's there.
Monday. Yeah, congrats, brother, and hope you're having a good time. Let's see, I know you're way out there, so good job, and we look forward to having you back. But yeah, it's just going to be us two today, and welcome. Let's see, this is not financial advice. We'll kind of get that off the table. So yeah,
Nice.
these are opinions, and just take that information as you will. So yeah, but yeah, any further details, just visit us at stockdads.com, and we can get you on your way if you have any questions or concerns, or need help in building a strategy, or need some guidance on really just about anything. But yeah, just to jump on into everything, I mean, last week was exciting.
Dude, last week was huge. I mean, that close was insane.
I
Absolutely insane.
Yeah, I think Powell pretty much nailed uh, a big one into the coffin, so to speak.
It was so
Uh,
weird, right? I, he didn't say anything that should have been new, of course, right? But we do all that back and forth and studying everything that he's saying. Really, the speeches are probably like the most market moving events that we have as traders. But
right,
um, you know, he didn't say anything new, but in retro, like trying to figure out, okay, what was it? I mean, aside from technicals lining up to exactly that very specific point at 420 was like the epic fail on SPY. I think he kind of just the last speech he gave, he had given that, and the last time I was on, we talked about this. He
yeah,
had given that 3 to 3.5 Fed funds rate target for the end of the year, and he kind of just increase that just a little bit, really. I mean, it wasn't anything big, but I do remember him saying 3.5 for the sustained future. And he actually said it through 2023, right? So I think maybe what some of the market was expecting was like, okay, well, we'll increase rates to 3.5, maybe 4, and then taper back. But
right,
but what he said was, no, we're gonna go forward. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there quickly, and we're not gonna be pulling rates back like maybe a lot of the market expected.
right. They're just going to get it there and pretty much hold it for
Yeah,
quite some time, and he said that they're going to do that until the job is done, just like they did
yeah,
during COVID and all that kind of stuff. So, we've always talked about we don't fight the Fed. We didn't fight it going on the way up. Maybe we shouldn't fight them this time around. We have quantitative tightening going into September, and
yeah. That's huge,
that's going to
actually, and
start.
nobody's really talking about that either.
No.
Um,
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that's going to impact and who's going to be buying up all those Fed dollars.
yeah,
I know.
I still think September historically is like the bloodiest month of the year, right? Like I don't know if people typically realize that, but September historically is not a good month. Um, but it precedes, right, like the Santa Claus rally.
Oh
October
yeah,
and November are typically very good months. So, and then we kind of put together. Oh, well, also in a midterm year, election
yeah.
year. It's actually probably one of the best dip buys that you can
Okay.
get inside the cycle. So going back to what you and I were talking about last time, it's like sub 397 if we get there, which we may. we'll have to let it base, bottom out. But if we can get near
Right.
those lows again, I don't think, just my speculation, right? I don't really think that we're going to see anything lower.
Okay.
And we're in this little situation where it's like, okay, we're likely at peak inflation, likely, and it's going to come down, but it's still freaking high, right?
Right.
that was basically the messaging, right? It's still high. We're not pulling back. We're not coming off the gas, and we'll have to deal with it as it goes. But so, are we at peak interest rates? Probably, right? Like, meaning, is he going to have any? Are we going to have any more hikes above 75 basis points? Probably not.
Probably
But
not. No.
yeah, get his last speech. Yeah, for sure. I think actually, Fuzz, did you check the Fed Funds watch?
I did. It keeps creeping up to, let's see, now it's at 64% for a 75 basis point rate hike for September. And I think that's kind of interesting because most of the Fed speakers that we've had have been arguing for 50. And I think we had Mester who said he wasn't opposed to a 75 basis point rate hike. So, maybe we got some conflict. I guess we'll find out. But, we always want to make sure that everybody's on the same page as far as that goes, especially with the Fed. I'm still kind of leaning they're going to do 50, but
let's say they do 75, right? But if they do 75 and the Fed funds target rate is still somewhere between 3.50 and 4, then what does that put us for the remainder of the year? So we have two more hikes left.
2 more hikes.
3?
Let's see. We have, 2. Yeah, we got November and December.
So November, December.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that sets us up for
That sets us up for right at 4.
Yeah, puts us at a very nice spot to bottom out at the end of this coming September and ripe for a Santa Claus rally in my mind, right? Like, no, the economy wouldn't be recovered by then, but the market is forward looking and it's gonna bottom out well before the economy does. So
and I think there's this huge the 10 and 2 are extremely inverted and they're not giving up yet, or we're not even seeing any signs. That I think it's good to pay attention to the TNX and all that kind of good stuff. So
the 2 years actually spot on, right? So the 2 years been floating around 3.5 right now, I believe, which is 2 year represents what the average of the Fed funds rate would be over the next 2 years. And so 3.5 is right there where he was talking about. And so if that stabilizes right there, then the 10-year eventually later on will creep up, or that'll come down. But hopefully this is the peak of what we're looking at.
Right. So, kind of leaning into next week a little bit, I'm thinking that we still kind of go down next week.
Oh, for sure.
Until
like, for sure, it's going to be a good opportunity, but we're going to dump.
Right. We're going to come. We're going to come on down, and I'm okay with that for sure.
Yeah.
And I guess you kind of said that your argument is, we do have the lows in right, and
you never know,
right?
But but I have a target now, right? Like if we get down there, right, that's where I'm going to start bottom fishing or really, picking off some stuff. I had a lot of people ask, sorry, it's off topic, but a lot of people asking last week, really, what would be like, is this a good stock to buy or is that a good stock to buy? And and a lot of people are kind of getting into that mindset of like, okay, well, you want to put your shopping list together right about now. But some of the shopping lists I've seen are like, I got one that was like this EV delivery company. I can't even remember the name. And I'm like, it's like $1 stock that was a SPAC. No. I'm like, oh, you guys, just like take a step back. It's like, okay, we want to do companies that have been around for decades. And we know for a fact they're going to be around for decades to come, right? If you want to last, at least that's the logic, right? All that growth at any price is.
Don't stay away from those money burning companies that are struggling to hold up, because with the higher interest rates, they're not going to.
They're going to be struggling for a while.
Hold up.
So we don't need to. There's going to be so many other things, and that was really my thing too. It's like there's going to be so many if you're just focusing on FANG or whatever, you're going to miss so many crazy bull markets and sectors that are just absolutely on fire. You'd pointed out for solar, and I didn't even look at that chart. My God, dude, what a week.
That thing
I'm
is
like
on
looking at this stuff, or like what a couple of months. Like that thing is, I mean,
crackhead energy is what that is.
It's alternative energy, right? Like, and that's
right.
You know, we're heading into winter, and one of my bigger plays was SLB or Schlumberger, right? Still is.
Sure.
And I think that specific sector has definitely got legs, actually. So I mean, those are just perfect examples. I mean, we see Devon's been just like booming. EOG is another like large cap staple in that space. We got a big nat gas play.
Nat gas, EQT actually.
Betty made a big position apparently, I think, in EQT just recently.
Oh, really? Yeah, I took a position in EQT last week as well. So
yeah, no, I love EQT. My nat gas play is Tellurian. I've been in it for a while. EQT, man, I bought, and this is what sucks about trading stuff. I'm looking at the chart on my screen. EQT, I bought sub like $15. And I was thinking, okay, I sold it like 25, and then the last sell I did was at 50, and I'm like, dude, okay, or not 50, 40, and I'm like, I can't get my head past like buying it above 15 again. I'm like, no, but I'm looking at this chart, man. I don't know if that thing will ever get there again.
Oh man, I'm also I'm going to be paying attention to commodities next week.
Oh yeah,
see what's going to go on with that.
I got my Freeport trade up. Like
Freeport,
yeah, FCX. Like that's a big copper squeeze coming on. I say big copper squeeze is live for sure. So that's, if you take a look at that chart, that's again, if you think inflation's going to be around for a while, then you can put together an inflation type of portfolio, right? So things like SLB, EOG, EQT, right? Like even gold. The dollar right now is fighting any of those golds and gold miner companies. So until the dollar comes down, if the dollar comes down, which has been this huge, I mean, that's like 20-year high.
Yeah, that's a train right there.
If the dollar comes down, then maybe the gold miners will start to see some life. But until then, at least, I don't think there'd be a whole lot of downside over there.
Right. Yeah, I just took a look at the dollar, and it is like 110 now. Like, it's almost,
we were looking at last time, being like 108 was like out of control, but yeah, we're way up there.
So yeah, sure. I mean, we got a lot to pay attention to, especially going into next week. We got a lot of, I think we got several Fed speakers coming up, so that's going to be fun because they love to talk, as you all know. But yeah, did you have any student loan forgiveness?
Oh yeah, I was looking at that, and man, that student loan, I don't want to get too political, but holy crap. Right. Did you read into that thing? I mean, that was, so he's giving 20K, 10 to 20K forgiveness on student loans for every family. So the family you can make up to $250,000 a year as a family and receive the student loan forgiveness, $125,000 per year as an individual. And I'm thinking, he's explicitly saying this is low income forgiveness, right? And I'm thinking, since when is $250,000 a year low income? I guess, like maybe it is now with inflation, right? But yeah, that's gonna be. I mean, he's got Republicans riled up, like everybody has. I mean, it's just gonna be more taxes. We're trying to fight inflation,
right? And they're saying that's not going to hurt inflation. That's
how does it not though, man?
I don't know. That's what the White House.
I mean, so taxpayers are going to pay for it. That's the thing, right? And that's the big, and everybody's going to pay for it, not just people that went to college. And that's kind of the argument. And the other side of the vote as well. It's actually going to benefit a lot of people regardless of income, because 250,000, you're still going to get it. It's just, it's a big deal. But I mean, the important thing to remember right now for sure is it's just a proposal. And I think, this is midterms coming up for them. So he's got to play his hand for sure. And clearly this is definitely a hand of these playing. So very interested to see how that works. I was thinking SoFi for a little while actually. And like SoFi has had this looming, they have a lot of, I believe they have a lot of student loan debt. I don't quote me on this. I haven't really looked into it too much, but I know a lot of guys in the group do trade it.
Right. Yeah.
But the student loan forgiveness was only for government loans, like Pell Grants and things like that. So it's not going to affect any private loan things. So all of that weight that might have been on SoFi's shoulders, that would essentially be gone right now.
Right. So yeah, all these federal loan names, I guess, Lending Tree, SoFi, Upstart, all those guys.
Yep.
Yeah, I was kind of watching SoFi for some kind of reaction, and honestly, I didn't think we got a big reaction off of it. So
I mean, it did bounce pretty strong, like right off it up to 6, but it gave pretty much all of it right back.
Right. It is kind of funny how you mentioned that, 250K is now, low income. I remember there was this study or some kind of survey or whatever where they asked college students what do they expect to make on their first job, and the starting salary came out to be $104,000 on their first job. And I was like, what delusional world
I guess it depends. I was looking at what was it, Jolts, right? So we got Jolts numbers,
right?
And they say what the average hourly rate is. I think it's like $37 an hour. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
No, so it's average hourly earnings month over month. It's a whole nother metric. But yeah, $32.27 an hour right now.
Wow.
Is the average hour? Is that nuts? I'm like, whoa,
that's a lot higher than what I was thinking.
I know, right? And so it's July average hourly earnings for private sector production.
Like, was I shafted my first job, or?
I know. So like line level, basically entry level $27.57 an hour.
Okay.
I'm like, dude, that's still good.
Yeah, that's still
pretty good.
That's right at $50K a year. Yeah.
Yeah, 50K. Yeah. So I mean, I remember in California, right, when 100K became like that like median income, and my family lives in like Georgia and stuff, and they're like, dude, did not compute for so many people. I'm like,
like, how?
Yeah.
The cost of
inflation,
living,
man. Inflation is real. That's
all
I can tell you.
Yeah, but my brother lives. He used to live in Florida, and when he was telling us the prices over there, I was like, how do you make it work?
Yeah, crazy stuff, man. So I think we had a couple events. We had the student loan forgiveness last week. That was a big deal, right? I think that's probably gonna weigh on some inflation stuff, but it's just kind of cool thing for a lot of people. I think any of the students that were saving up to pay their loans can probably now buy some more Tesla at a cheaper price, right? So Tesla did the 3-to-1 stock split. That's cool. It's not anything big, right? So nothing happens to Tesla as a company, right?
Right.
And as an option trader, I'm unfortunately not going to be trading Tesla nearly as much. It's just different, right? So the strikes take a long time to really it's going to be like a process of like attrition, right? After certain series burn off, we get different strikes available. Right now, they're like every 10 cents or something wild, but they don't pay it as much. So, so I've been loving some SPX. I'll definitely be going back to that.
Trading futures are where it's at.
Yeah, futures for sure. If you're not, it's funny. A lot of people ask about that stuff. SPX is great, but if you're not intimately familiar with
you have to
decay, the Greeks and all that kind of stuff. Like it's not a 1-to-1 linear type payout. Futures, on the other hand, I mean, that's if you're trading raw price action, futures are what you should be doing for sure.
Right. Yeah. So, we got a lot of stuff going on this week mainly, but yeah, I think SPY is probably going to be my main proxy going into the week ahead.
I mean, that was a massive dump,
massive move on, huge volume, the biggest volume of the week and everything like that. So, obviously I think that we go lower next week. We got a few interesting, we got a space shuttle launch next week. I don't know if you're watching.
Did you catch that? What was that? There's something like SpaceX and T-Mobile.
SpaceX and T-Mobile. Yeah, SpaceX is using T-Mobile or T-Mobile using SpaceX. I didn't really read into it. I just saw the headline.
Yeah, no, I caught one trade. I was like, this thing is going wild.
Yeah.
and it was on T-Mobile, and then it kind of like gave it all back, but I just didn't know.
Yeah,
if
we
there was
had
a
some
major hit.
juicy setups last week,
Dude.
and as soon as the Powell situation happened, all those juicy
Yeah.
setups just walked away. So
Yeah,
we'll see if some of those kind of recover and get back to those levels, but I think it's going to be a little bit hard until buyers really step in. I think that's really the key to it. You know, last week it was if we do have a dip, how does the market handle a dip? And we got the dip, and buyers literally just walked away. I was watching the tape, and I was just
it was
seeing
brutal. Yeah, I
numbers
thought
just
we came down to like that 413, which was like the total like support consolidation zone that we've had so many times, and then it just kept going. Like,
I was like,
wait a second, what's
where did they
happening?
go?
And I'm thinking about it. I was like, well, that kind of move coming into a Friday after a decent week, you don't want to be long heading into the weekend. You have no idea who's
No.
gonna, dissect Powell's speech over the weekend, and then come Monday have all the analysts come out saying who knows what. But the truth is, dude, we moved a full week's normal range in a single session, like a full week's move. We moved in a single session. So normally, I mean, this isn't COVID where there's not a black swan here.
Right.
To be honest, this typically sets us up for some chop, man. Till I think Friday, right? So next week we have a couple week like interweek catalysts that you had mentioned.
Yeah.
We could probably pull some trades up around those.
Absolutely.
But it's not until Friday that we get the big catalyst, and that Friday is like non-farm payrolls, and that's probably the most.
Yep.
Not probably, it is the most important number every single month for the following month. So depending on how the reaction goes on Friday, I'm kind of in this chop mode right now where I'm thinking, okay, we could chop around 400, somewhere between 410, about 410, 395, somewhere in there, which is one of our targets, right?
Right.
And those non-farm payrolls, like if depending on the market's reaction to that number, to me, that's gonna basically tell the story for the entire month of September. So if it's a dumpster fire, then okay, we gotta wait a little bit, and then we'll buy the dip at the end of the month, towards the end of the month. But if it's a good reaction, maybe the bottom's in. We'll see.
Maybe, yeah. I think it's gonna be. I like the idea of coming back into 400, and from 400 we'll see what happens from there.
I really, because I'm like 75% cash, man.
Yeah,
like, I got this stuff starting to burn a hole in my pocket.
Load the boat.
Yeah, I did buy a little Google at 110, which was like the first thing, but it's just a nibble. I got Blackstone too. I'm really, when I never actually got a real position in was United Healthcare. That's one I'm definitely looking for a nice pullback on. That thing is just like. Just a rocket ship for like the last 14 years or something.
I think Humana's like been on an absolute tear. A lot of those healthcare names are just kind of hanging out. I think
healthcare is gearing up, man. I looked at J&J, Merck.
Oh yeah,
J&J and Merck. Those, I mean, J&J is like, it really hasn't recovered much at all. It's nearing a total base. So I am starting to kind of build into that just a little bit. I don't make like one buy. It's always like multiple little nibbles.
Oh yeah. Oh, did you see Ulta?
Until it's profitable, yeah.
Did you see Ulta like with their earnings? Absolute beast of an earnings because everybody's buying up all the makeup.
yeah. I was like, well, hey, they're gonna do webcasts and like all the YouTube.
Yeah, everybody's a social influencer now. So
yeah, that's a thing for sure. I know where these jobs. Maybe that's where the jobs came from. But that last that last NFP number is still blowing my mind. Right? How did they double the new jobs that were actually picked up? I just don't. We'll see. That's a big one.
Yeah, that is a big one. We got so next week we got a bunch of economic data coming out, especially like you said, we got JOLTS, we got a semiconductor conference, we got a space
launch. What day is that?
The Jeffries, I think it's all next
week. The semiconductor conference.
The Jeffries 2022 semiconductor conference, I believe, starts tomorrow.
Oh, really? That's kind of interesting. I mean, NVIDIA, and then they took a huge beating, man. AMD. Oh, I'm just looking at this.
And AMD does have a conference has their own conference on Thursday, I think.
Look at AMD. What was that price? $797. $90
Yeah,
on
they're
Friday.
getting walloped.
Sick.
Yeah,
Oh my
anything
God.
below 100 on AMD is a definite short for me for sure. Yeah, I think that's going back down to possibly
You're gonna say
the.
75.
Well, my first stop's going to be 84,
There you go. Yeah,
but it
I
could
think,
very well go back all the way to test those lows. But
yeah. Actually, yeah, 84 is that was the last one for sure.
yeah, but they got their own conference on Thursday. I think that'll be interesting. We'll see what the next
So
generation.
Monday, the Jeffries has a semiconductor conference, and Thursday, AMD has a conference.
From what I understand, yeah, from
Okay.
how I got that. Yep.
That could be
August.
tradable.
Okay, Jeffries Semiconductor, August 30th through the 31st, and then AMD has theirs on Thursday.
I'll definitely keep an eye on that.
So yeah, Tuesday and Wednesday for that conference, and then we have the Space Shuttle launch this week as well. I can't remember what day that is. The Artemis launch. That's going to have a huge impact on Boeing, Northrop, and LMT because that's supposed to get us to the moon yet again.
So what's that about? I don't know about that one.
The Artemis launch is a brand new epic rocket. It's supposed to be our most powerful rocket. Yeah, and it's supposed to get us back to the moon and beyond. So
is this the Mars? Are we going to Mars now?
I think so. Well, yeah, tomorrow is the launch. So yeah, it's supposed to get us to the moon.
Nice.
So that'll be pretty interesting. That'll be big for Boeing for sure. Michael, oh sorry,
like people in there in that space launch, in that launch?
I don't think so.
I'm looking at Boeing.
Yeah, it's an uncrewed test flight.
Look at this Boeing chart. What a bounce off these lows.
I know Michael here asked us where do we get our news from, and there's several places that I kind of reach out to, but I use Benzinga Pro for one, and then there's Seeking Alpha and Market Watch, and there's lots of Bloomberg, of course, CNBC if you want to. There's plenty of news sources out there where you can just gather as much information as possible and have your key lookouts, for sure. There's lots of ways to get info for sure. And you just got to do it the way you want to. We also have you mentioned some of the EV dollar stock name, but we also have EV numbers coming up with NEO and XPEV and Li Auto. How do you think those are going to
go? The China EVs, man.
Yeah.
Are you going long those, or what's the story?
I kind of like China, especially with the audits kind of going on. K-Web, yeah, I got a good eye on K-Web. JD actually gave us a really good move last week. That there was this whale trader that bought like 5 million worth of options, and we jumped on board on that, and we caught a good move off of it.
Nice.
PDD, good stuff. Baba, same thing. I think they're getting ready to rock and roll. If maybe we can get some help, but we'll see how well they can move against the grain, I guess.
Yeah, a lot of news on Baba about like coming to terms with like the U.S. What's the word? Like the way they report numbers and things like that. So I mean, Baba's not going to get delisted or anything like that.
No,
it's got. I mean, all these are just. I'm looking below the 200s, but man, yeah. I mean, oh god, they scare the crap out of me, dude. Like, I gotta be real with you. Like I never know. I tried to go long Baba, man. I'll get hit with some wild headline out of left field. I'm like, oh, what's gonna happen?
Yeah, what's the guy's name? He always has something going on.
Yeah.
As far as for me going into next week, I'm looking at energy. I'm watching UUP, of course, and oil. Short arc because caffeine.
You ever do that? Those the new leveraged single share things, right? So like aside from SARK, there was there's a Tesla 3x leverage short now.
There is.
ETF.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy hell.
I've yet to play that one. Yeah, I think they're also trying to come out with Apple and a few others.
Yeah.
Because why not? So yeah, I think that's where I'm aiming.
What's up? Oh, UK is reviewing the Microsoft and Activision acquisition. That's what you have.
Right. That happens on Thursday as well, I believe. It's either Wednesday or Thursday where the UK is going to be reviewing the Activision contract or buyout from Microsoft.
What was the purchase price on that supposed to be?
Let me
like 85 a share or something currently trading.
Yeah, because they because Activision hasn't really, they haven't really moved
Yeah.
hardly any since that number. Yeah, 80,
but I
85.
believe it's still below what the agreed upon purchase is. So I mean, they're obviously pricing in some kind of risk
Yeah, there could be some
that
kind
it
of
doesn't go through.
spike there for sure. Yeah, well, that's something to kind of watch. But yeah, definitely paying attention to semis with all the conferences going on. We could get a pop. We could, you know, the AMD CEO, she could come out, and Lisa Su, she could come out and just ruin
How does she
everything.
not, dude? She's a rock star. What can you say? Right?
She does. Yeah, you know, I'm Team Red as always. So
Yeah,
yeah, they're gonna knock it out of the park, I'm sure.
sure.
But yeah, I think that's where I'm at. What do you got? Any cool picks for next week?
No, I think, you know, next week still it's just going to be mostly focused. I think oil energy does well. If we get some bounces, you know, next week I think fairly neutral. If I was going to say anything, I think there's I've been hearing a lot of this agricultural stuff. I don't know if you ever traded like MOS. That thing's on fire still. Or again.
Yeah, I had a trade on MOS.
Really?
Yeah, last week. Yep.
Yeah, so that thing looks like it could actually have another leg. I think
down.
all of them, right? So like SLB is still major on my watch for the next move, right? I think we get a little pullback. FCX, if we get that little pullback to around 31, I'm definitely interested in loading up a lot more. And mostly like healthcare. So I think this next wave, I think we still get the commodities trade is on, the inflation trade is on, and then healthcare and consumer staples maybe start to heat up a little bit in my mind. So I got J&J, I got Merck. I haven't really, I mean, Pfizer looks like it's gonna bottom soon. It's not quite there for me.
I like it.
So, but I'm very much watching this Pfizer at about 40, sub 45. If we get that bounce, we bounced there a handful of times, and it's real close, especially after Friday.
Yeah, that's an interesting spot for Pfizer to bounce again. So I like that a lot.
Yeah, I really like that. And you know, I just got to be kind of hands off tech for right now, and probably hands off for, you know, financials for a little bit. I do have my shopping list ready, but you know, until the market really digests what's going on, and I don't think the market can digest what's going on with inflation until Friday. So all week we really don't have anything major in terms of economic data points, but we do have a couple tradable events like you're talking about, maybe some, you know, AMD bounces for a short-term overnight kind of trade,
right?
But other than that, yeah, I think it's it's all eyes on Friday.
The enemy is deflation now.
Yeah. I mean, like,
if you think about it,
I've always been kind of like the stagflation, you know, mindset, but yeah, I know, right? I look at the stuff, you know, the job openings, they're not going up, right?
No.
But there are more jobs being taken, which is good. Although the job hourly earnings, which is probably, it's one of the biggest impactful like things for actual inflation. Like, as weird as it sounds, if we keep making more money on an hourly rate, it's tough for the market and for everybody else to actually fight that inflation number, because that's sticky, right? Like once you get hired at a higher rate, it's not like you're gonna be, oh, we're gonna lower your rates now, guys. Sorry, this doesn't happen, right? So more people are going back to work. Quits are about static, like about stable. So it's just that last wave of people that are still not working from COVID, and you know, joining the workforce finally. So once that's over, I think, dude, I think it's gonna be like a dip buy
of all dip buys
of the decade for sure. That's just me. I don't want to be too bullish, but it's not. It's not there. It's not even close yet.
Right. Let's take it in stride.
Yeah. End of September.
I like it. All right. Well, y'all heard it here. I appreciate y'all coming in and listening. Thank you for the questions. We'll be back at it next week, of course. You know, keep y'all's heads up. If you felt some pain on Friday, I think we all did, to say the least. But yeah, you know, we'll take it one day at a time. And if you need help, come check us out, stockdads.com. We'll help you get on the right path, a good path, especially if you have trouble or if you want to learn more about, you know, what we do. I mean, we got it all from stocks to sports betting. I mean, you name it. So we got you covered. But yeah, y'all have a great rest of y'all's evening. And if you're listening to us on Monday morning to your commute, have a good, fantastic weekend. We will see you guys out there. Have a good one, guys.
See you, man.